My name is Wesley Woods, a local resident of Cedar Rapids. The topic which I would like to cover today pertains to one of the most iconic landmarks of the city of Five Seasons. And no, I'm not talking about Quaker Oats, but instead a sinister plot coordinated by generations of locals, hiding not only government secrets, but also a string of murders, as well as even extraterrestrials. So join me as we uncover the truth behind a literal heaping pile of garbage, Mount Trashmore. We begin our journey here on the banks of this bustling city. Cedar Rapids is the second largest city in Iowa with a population of over 450,000. But less than a mile from its center stands the tallest structure for miles. However, it was not always here, let alone a mountain. Before its transformation, Mount Trashmore first operated as a rock quarry in the early 20th century, until it was later repurposed into a landfill in the year 1965. Now that year, why could it be so important? February 27, 1965, France performs one of their first underground nuclear tests at Ecker, Algeria site. 2 days later, on March 3rd, the U.S. performs nuclear testing for the first time in years at the Nevada military test site. And on that very same day, the USSR performed their own nuclear tests in Eastern Kazakh. And 5 days later, on March 8th, the first U.S. combat forces arrive on the beaches of Vietnam. What could all of these big world events have in common? Well, this is where it gets spicy. Now, exactly 1 day after the U.S. entered Vietnam, on March 9th, Otis Quarry is redesignated as the Cedar Rapids landfill, followed almost immediately by the awarding of I've Got a Tiger by the Tail by Buck Owens' Album of the Year. Sinister, I know. When looking for some answers, I reached out to the local site coordinator, Zach Horning, who actually met me on site, yet refused to call me back. Maybe his supervisors found out about my research, and they thought it best to keep their information to themselves. It is a well-known fact that Mount Trashmore then went on to take waste until its 2006 closure. But 2 years later, the unthinkable happened. Best known as the flood of 2008, local rainfall and heavy northern snowmelt caused the Cedar River to crest at more than 31 feet. Floodwater enveloped the community for days, causing entire buildings, houses, and structures to be completely destroyed or now uninhabitable. Once the debris was finally cleared, the landfill closed for good in 2012, now nearly 920 feet tall. Being the tallest point in Cedar Rapids, 948 feet above sea level, something feels almost alien about looking down at the cityscape. In late 2012, after the mountain of garbage was being sealed, several locals noticed lights flickering at the top of the mountain. While some thought this to be simply construction or excavation equipment, one local, and Angela Merkel, said that she saw a large dome-shaped object floating just above the structure. And then over the course of the next 2 weeks, 3 more sightings occurred, mentioned by Gina Berkeley, Klaus Myers, and 13-year-old Lucy Kennedy, suggesting similar occurrences around 1 a.m. Shortly after testifying, Angela Merkel died of a heart attack in her home. And then 1 week later, when Gina and Klaus both revealed what they had witnessed, were found dead floating in the Cedar River east of 4th Street near the detainment center. And Lucy Kennedy was soon pronounced missing after her own statement. Every one of these individuals claimed to have seen something truly out of this world, and all died or were pronounced missing shortly after sharing what they had seen over Mount Trashmore. And again, while I have no proof that these deaths are really linked, you can't help but wonder, maybe it was a government cover-up. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I can't say we uncovered much about Mount Trashmore, let alone any truths behind its secrets. But for now, I think we'll move on to the next mystery. I'll see you in the next one. Perhaps deep beneath those millions of pounds of garbage There really is something going on.